What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Going deep, and it's caught in the end zone for a touchdown by Xavion Diaz. A great throw, Diaz wide open. There we go. Give it a good pull. And Vineland's defense. Oh, no.
What? That was a little suspect.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Guzman's Gridiron, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. We are back after a little time away, getting prepped up for the big one. It's Kyle Bennett, Coach Guzman here with you. Before we get started, make sure you guys subscribe to Guzman's Gridiron wherever you get your podcasts. In audio form, Apple, Spotify. The Guzman's Gridiron feed is available if you just want to listen to this show. And, of course, the show also comes out on the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast feed. And if you want to watch the show, it's on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, click the bell icon so you know when it goes live, because we premiere it just like it's live TV, so you can be in the chat with us and watch the show live, and then it's available for playback whenever you want to watch the show. Coach, it's good to be back.
It's good to see you.
Good to be back.
And good to be seen, as they say.
How has this time off from game action been for you? I know it's a little different than last year where there was, game after game leading up to Thanksgiving, but going into this year, just kind of some time away from game action, a lot of preparation going into this big one coming up against Millville. What's it been like, preparation-wise in these past couple of weeks?
Our kids are answering the call. They show up, they do what's asked of them. And they're waiting and willing to go ahead and confront their crosstown rival.
It's the big one, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the 153rd meeting between Vineland High School and Millville High School for Thanksgiving. Obviously, a couple of those games happen postseason-wise and not on Thanksgiving, but always Thanksgiving, a tradition like no other. I always like to say it's one of the longest-running rivalries in the world because it's American football. It's one of the longest-running rivalries in our country, which means it's one of the longest in the world. And it's always a fun part of my year to just be a part of it. I know it's always great for you to be on that sideline.
Absolutely.
And we talked about it last year too, but just talk to me about the tradition that goes into this game and what it is about Vineland and Millville that makes it just so special and feel like the ultimate game of every single season.
As you well know, that this is the town Super Bowl, if you will. The community comes out in groves. Also, when you're talking about Millville and their fans, they come out in groves also. So it's just an event that has a lot of meaning to a lot of people. Not just the players, not just the staff, but the whole community. In some way, some capacity, this game affects the people that live in Millville and Vineland. And it affects them in such a way that they, they have their own little internal turmoils that they go ahead and display come game day as fans. So, you know what? It's a special event. It's one that's lasted the test of time for 153 years. So that should, right there, that speaks volumes, right? But again, it's an event that you'll see both towns really rally behind their teams. And at the end of the day, the game's got to get played. And we're going to see where everything lies come game day.
And it does have just like that old school gladiator feel to it, where when both teams step in that arena, like, you get chills. Seeing both teams run out on the field, get announced, it does have that classic, football feel to it each and every year, no matter how good each team is, how down a team is, or in between.
Right.
That game, everyone's 0-0,
100%.
and it's winner take all for all the glory in that game.
Absolutely. It's for, again, that crosstown rival spark, if you will, that, bragging rights, man. Period. Point blank, period. Millville knows what it is. Vineland knows what it is. At the end of the day, like I always say, the game's got to get played, and, may the best team win that come game day.
And there's been some unbelievable games just in my time in the booth and covering this team from a professional level, from your time on the sidelines, and even before then. There's just been so many classics that come from this rivalry. And I mean, some have come in the past 5 years, which has been awesome. And just the storylines that build between these two teams are absolutely incredible. And, when it gets played at historic Gatone Stadium, no less, it's that much more fun, I think, for everybody here in Vineland to be able to, have that home game and that hometown feel, because this year, we've talked about it, we've had unbelievable crowds.
Yes.
You ain't seen nothing like a Gatone Stadium filled for Thanksgiving Day.
Absolutely not. The stadium is definitely electric in its total capacity. There's fans that line up the surrounding wall, if you will, of the field. I mean, it is an event to be had. So if you haven't been to a Vineland Millville game and you're looking to find out what it's like, what the feel is like, come out on Thanksgiving and you'll definitely feel that electric energy, and you'll definitely be a part of history at the end of the day.
And I mean, when you look at just this year's team in particular and what you guys have been able to accomplish, and seeing the fans this year kind of come out in droves and be a part of this season, and just knowing what the environment can be, how exciting is it to kind of just think about what that noise level is going to be when you guys walk in to Gatone Stadium, see those stands packed and ready to rock and roll on Thanksgiving morning?
I'll tell you what, that whole day, and I'm going to take you through the whole day to give you perspective. It's very, very special. You have the Vineland Fire Department coming out, 4:35 in the morning to start cooking for our kids' breakfast. I mean, that right there tells you a lot. This town rallies behind their kids. They really do, and I appreciate, everyone that's involved with that. The fire department, again, they do an excellent job for us, and we're very, very appreciative. Then it's, from there, we go ahead, we board the bus. We'll get to Gatone around 8:20 or so, 8:30. Kickoff this year, 10:30. And once you get there, it's almost like a numb feel that you get, because what's going to go on at 10:30, but there's a lot of events that happen. Also, it's senior day, right? So there's a lot of events that happen that kind of get that ball rolling, if you will, right? So again, typically by 9:30, 9:45, the place is packed. I mean, it's already packed, and there's people lined up down the street trying to get in still. It's just an unbelievable feel. You go out, you do the senior day, which is awesome for our seniors. They deserve the best, and they deserve to go out on top. But again, everything's got to be won. Everything's got to be earned, so nothing's given. But at the end of the day, again, we get that senior aspect out of the way, right? The families and make sure that they get acknowledged, their kids get acknowledged. Then we take it back to get released to the field of play, and it's like I always see that same look in the kids' eyes. You know, it's super excitement and that will to win this game for their town. So it throws chills up my spine as well, you know, because I'm looking at these men like, yeah, it's time, man. This is the game. You know, that crosstown rival game that's for all the marbles. They know it, we know it, and then it's action. And it's like once that ball's kicked off, the hairs on your back just, I mean, they stand up, and then it's like it's on. Let's roll. All the kids are locked in, you know, and we're ready to do what we came to do, which is definitely try to win the game.
It's like game day for everyone. Like when Rich and I are in the booth, we're like getting all the loosiness out of us and shaking up in the booth and getting ready and kind of doing like a little bit of jumping jacks in the booth. And as soon as we get that countdown from Doug in our ear, it's like, all right, it's game time.
It's game time.
I kind of lead the way in, which is like something I never take for granted. It's one of the coolest aspects of being part of the Vineland Public Broadcasting too, is being a part of this rivalry from bringing it to the masses. You know, this is a game where even if you're not in Cumberland County for Thanksgiving, you're across the country, you're still watching the game.
Absolutely.
People are tuning into this game. It's one of the most viewed videos throughout the entire school year, every single year, and to be a part of that is so much fun, and to just kind of lead everybody's Thanksgiving off the right way. And I joked about this too. I said, you know, this game is probably going to be a lot more entertaining than that Giants-Cowboys game at 4:30. So get your Thanksgiving football started right this year. 10:30 a.m. on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel.
Sure.
But, you know, what's kind of the message to these freshmen this year? Their first ever Vineland Millville game, big stage. They get to kick it off at home. What's kind of that look that you get from those guys that are preparing for their very first tilt with Millville?
You know, I say this to all the freshmen, you know, year in, year out, even when I was supporting staff, right, when I was the D-line coach. Take it all in, man. Take it all in, because this is going to be your first Millville-Vineland rivalry game, but it's also going to be the last one as a freshman. The countdown's on. You're only going to have 3 more left after this, and they go by in a blink of an eye, man. I mean, I could look at some of my kids, and I still remember they were freshmen. Now they're seniors about to graduate. Kyle, like, that's how quick. It's time waits for no man, and it happens that fast.
And if I'm not mistaken, too, for everybody, tickets this year, I think it's the first time they're online.
Yes.
So
online.
Get your tickets online.
Yes.
Nothing sold at the door.
Nope.
So be sure to get your tickets. If we get that link, we'll put it in the description of the podcast, too, if you need to get your tickets. Because I think this is the first time that we're doing the digital at Catone for this game. For a multitude. It makes it a lot easier. It gets people through the door that much quicker.
Right.
It's a faster process, especially for an overpopulated game in the stands where you have so many people coming out. And it is one of those things that, like, sure, you have homecoming during the year, and that's more so for the current student body.
Right.
Thanksgiving, no matter if it's at home or on the road, is homecoming for every alumni that's ever walked through Vineland High School's doors or Millville High School's doors.
100%. Agreed on that. And I think with this whole online application that they did, applying that to this game, it also gets that heightened sense of security for the staff and the students involved for both schools.
Right.
You know, we want it to be a venue where it's a safe venue for our kids, again, for both schools, and that we don't have to worry about nothing other than coaching our kids up. And the kids have nothing other to worry about than go out there, give it your all, leave it all on the field, and then we're going to safely go ahead, make sure that both teams get to their respective spots, and go on and enjoy a Thanksgiving feast.
And because at the end of the day, it's all about them having fun. It's the last game of the season for both teams. Take it all in. Enjoy yourself while you're out on the field
100%.
Without having to worry about anything outside of it.
No. Again, Coach Schifalalio, or our AD now, right? I'm so used to having him on staff.
He's always coach.
He's to me, he's the guy. He's that guy. He's my guy. So, but when you're talking an AD of that caliber, that quality, he makes sure he dots his I's, crosses his T's. He's doing a phenomenal job running the department, the athletic department. He's doing a phenomenal job. So kudos to you, Coach Schiff. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah, and I know. I remember last year talking to Dave Lagamba, the AD at Millville, and he said the digital ticketing was a seamless thing. It made life so much easier for everybody.
Yes.
And I think it's just a process for, like we said, a heightened attendance game.
Yes.
It makes it easier for everybody involved in the process of the game going off smoothly.
100%. And again, it's meant to make sure that everything is compartmentalized where it should be.
You look at, we talked about the freshmen. On the flip side, the seniors last Vineland Millville game. And what a group of seniors this has been. Talk to me about just, their excitement for this one to kind of leave it all out on the field as this is their last tilt.
All my seniors, they know how I feel about them. They just got by the way, they just got honored about a couple weeks ago at the board office there, which they deserve. And that means all the seniors of Vineland High with their respective sports got honored. Very, very proud of all our seniors, man, throughout all the sports arenas here at Vineland. But as far as our seniors for football, it's a special group for me, man. There's some special characters there that, I'm really, truly going to miss. I'm just going to miss calling their names, man. They know it. They mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to the coaching staff. And they're ready to leave every ounce of energy on that field, man. They're willing to crawl, scratch, do whatever it takes to win this football game. So I'm looking for our seniors to lead the way, man.
And I think you've seen it from them this year, win or lose. You just see how much they enjoy winning, but how much they equally, if not more, hate losing.
100%.
This group wants to win no matter what. They're going to find a way to do it. And if they don't, they're the first ones back looking at the film and saying, what do we have to do to get back in the win column?
Absolutely. Like I said, we have a dedicated group of seniors. They've, some show the way by example. Some are vocal. We got a nice little mix there. But at the end of the day, they strive to win. That's one of the, mottos on our team, right? We're striving for perfection, excellence, and ultimately win. But when it does come down to us being on the losing end, they really are, the type of kids that'll go ahead, take it, and show it on the cuff. But want to get that much better the following week.
Right. And, you look at this group, too, and it's not often that you get your senior day against Millville, too, which I think is that much more special for the football team perspective, too. You see other sports where we play Millville, that's a senior night thing that can happen a lot.
Right.
It's not usually the case, with the football team, and I think that just adds that much more adrenaline, that adds that much more oomph to this game for those seniors, and I can already hear them in that huddle before the game goes, like they are going to want to go out on top and take this one and kind of flip the script on what the past couple years have been.
Again, I wouldn't want to go to war with anyone else other than my kids, period. Point blank, period. They know that. I know that. The coaches know that. We have our kids' backs through and through. So at the end of the day, the game's got to get played, like I say, and let the chips fall where they may. But our kids are going in with a purpose, and that purpose being coming out with a W.
And we've talked, too, a bunch. He's Vineland through and through now, but I think it is a unique perspective that you guys have Coach Hendricks on this staff, and he's experienced this on the Millville side as a player, and he's now experienced as a coach on the Vineland side, and you get that unique perspective of what this game truly means. How much do you kind of give Coach Hendricks the floor a little bit to kind of just talk about the importance of this game and what it really means, at the end of the day as a player and now for him as a coach to kind of just say, hey, like this game is the granddaddy of them all?
Absolutely. Coach Hendricks, again, did an excellent job for us all year. This man is about his business, and he does add a different perspective, right? Whereas he was a player for Millville for years, right? And then he comes up and comes to our side on the Vineland side to coach. Again, a genuine man, handles his business, very well respected, but again, gives you that, I played there. This is how it was, but I'm here with you kids now, and this is how it is. You see, so the man is a stand-up man, and we love him, man. We don't want him going anywhere.
And he gets an added experience of just county football because he was the head coach of Cumberland Regional for years.
Yeah,
so
he gets the trifecta, Kyle.
It's crazy.
He gets the trifecta.
But yeah, it's always fun kind of seeing that dynamic too with Coach Hendricks being here, and he gets the player perspective of knowing what it's like to be out there, but also now the coaching perspective, and not many people get that opportunity.
No. So it's just, again, he's an invaluable piece that we have on staff, and that man right there, he does his due diligence every day, every game, day in and day out.
What's a game like this, in your opinion, just watching him now as a coach too, because you get the player for Vineland, coach for Vineland perspective from a lot of your guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ryan Shelton in particular is a fascinating case for this game.
You talk about Robin, huh? That guy, love him to death. Love Coach Shelton. He does have that added value, right, where he's been on the side of being a player here at Vineland, right? And he's one to quickly tell you, I never lost to Millville. Which he didn't. He did not. All 4 years we played them with, while Ryan was on the team, even as a freshman, we won. So he has that also in his bag, right? But then he gives you that other perspective of, I played in this game. I know what magnitude it means, not only to the seniors but to the team as a whole. But now I'm coaching in it, and I can't play no more. I've got to coach you guys up to the point where I know you're ready, and I know that, the task isn't out of hand at all.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that was given to you by way of you coming to practice every day, it's going to come to fruition come game day. If you just put your minds to it and go ahead as a team and attack, the opponent the way that we should attack the opponent, let the chips fall where they may at the end.
100%. I mean, as one of the longest running rivalries, what better way to have it presented by the City of Vineland?
There it is.
And the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. I'm sure this game is on that public calendar there for you. The calendar is accessible at vinelandcity.org, and it's a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. Very much like the 153rd meeting between Vineland and Millville. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And, Coach, I mean, you look at this game and just the history behind it, and I think one of the cool aspects now going into this year is the now formerly known as the Daily Journal Victory Cup, has been named after Coach Surace and Coach Parentazzi, and it is the Surace-Parentazzi Victory Cup. How special is that to see two just iconic coaches for both of these schools, both of these communities, get honored in such a way that lasts the test of time?
Yeah, it being changed to that, the Parentazzi and Surace Cup is – I think that's awesome. You have two gentlemen there that, they bled, sweat, their colors, right? Parentazzi, red and gray, and of course, Millville, they're blue and orange, right? So these gentlemen deserve to be on that cup. They were also former players. I mean, they went through the whole gamut, right? Players, coaches, and they coached for years. Very highly respected, both of them very highly respected men in football. So, why not name it after these two gentlemen? The peak performers, right, at their respective schools, absolutely. I agree 150%.
And it just adds into maybe 153%.
153%, Kyle.
And, I mean, it just adds to the pomp and circumstance of how important this game is to have two legends, two titans from both sides of this rivalry be what's up for grabs. Their namesakes are now on the line to be brought back to those respective schools. I think that just adds more fanfare. It adds more just fight from both sides to want to bring home that trophy. And it's the first time that this trophy is being – granted, it's the same trophy.
Same trophy.
But it's a new name, and it's the first time that the Surace-Parentazzi Cup is being played for.
Absolutely. And, It adds a different dimension where the kids might not know too much about these guys, right? I know myself, my coaching staff, we always go back in time and let the kids know these are the guys. These are the guys that were pioneers in Vineland football. And Parentazzi, his name came up at least through me saying it, Coach Russo saying it. I mean, he's a staple. That's it. He was a great man, did his thing for Vineland football, and we make sure that the kids know who he is.
And, I mean, when it comes to just adding that extra flair to it and just knowing that a new title is kind of on the line too, I feel like that adds excitement where it's like we want to be the first ones to win this newly named trophy. We want to be the ones to bring it back to our school first.
Absolutely. It all goes into that whole bragging rights thing. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder. We sure as heck are going to have a chip on our shoulder. And at the end of the day, it's whoever executes, blocks, tackles, better than the next team, And again, we focused all our energies into ultimately coming out with a W this game.
Now you've gotten kind of two sides of the gambit. Last year, you guys, like we mentioned at the top of the show, had games leading into this. This year, it's been a lot of practice time and that time to kind of really just hone in on this from a practice perspective. What are some positives you've seen from that aspect versus last year where you're prepping for opponent, and then the game?
Right.
And what are some kind of drawbacks that you kind of wish that there was a little bit more game action for the guys out there versus kind of just practicing it and going toe-to-toe with one another in practice?
Well, one of the things that I kind of take from last year's experience, right, with those three consolation games, and this year where we had, basically EHT, right? Just the one consolation. So is that you could see it, or at least I saw it, you're kind of sharper, right? Game mode sharper because you're going against these, and we didn't feign back and go against no gimmies.
Right.
They were teams. They were players, Atlantic City, Cherry Hill, Camden Eastside. Who was that third team? Eastern. Yes, thank you. So they were no gimmies at all.
Atlantic City was in the state playoff.
And we knocked them out, which Keenan returned the favor this year. Yeah, Keenan, I'm going to shout you out. You did. You returned it. No, he's a great coach over in the AC, buddy of mine. Great guy, but he did return the favor, But ultimately, it kept this game sharp, right? But then you have to deal with injury. You see, so it's a balanced situation, right? It's a balancing act. Where Camden Eastside was a hard-fought game. We had a lot of injuries, man. We had probably 7-8 guys that were hurt, and no excuses.
Right.
We lost that following, that Turkey Day. We lost hands down, but we had guys injured. So fast forward to this year, we don't have that. Our guys are well rested. We, as far as looking at it, game speed sharp, we've had our inter squad scrimmage, so that helps, but it's not the same as we're preparing for the certain team and now we have to be game sharp like a Ginsu, right? So it's injury bug we don't have to worry about. Everyone's nice and healthy, knock on wood. However, we're gonna have to see that game type speed, game acquisition come game day. So we're going to see, Kyle. But I'll tell you one thing. Our kids are ready. They are ready, and they're going to give us everything they have, and they're going to leave it on that field. That I know for sure.
We're going to take a quick break to have a word from our sponsors. On the other side, we are going to preview the 153rd meeting between Vineland and Millville. Don't go anywhere. You're listening and watching to Guzman's Gridiron right here on Underground Sports Philadelphia.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Hey, everybody, quick ad break, and I want to talk to you about our amazing sponsor, Allen Associates, returning for a second season here on Guzman's Gridiron. We are extremely thankful to have them on board with us for the 2024 Vineland football season. And if you are looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belt, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. Whether you're a part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered. Their family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can easily learn more and access their services by visiting their newly renovated website, Allen Assoc, that's ALLENASSOC.com. So join the family and let them help you secure your future. Contact them today online or by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. Big thank you to Allen Associates for being a proud partner of Guzman's Gridiron. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you to our sponsors. And, Coach, it's a team that, no matter how many years go by, no matter how many new players, same players come back, it's always a fun matchup. And our game preview is brought to you by Allen Associates. And if you're looking for a reliable and experienced insurance agency that caters to all your needs, look no further than Allen Associates Insurance Services. With over 6 decades of experience under their belt, they specialize in health insurance, financial services, and accounting. And whether you're a part of the public or private sector, they've got you covered. Their family-owned business currently helps upwards of 300 groups throughout New Jersey, providing them with the best insurance options available. You can easily learn more and access their services by visiting their newly renovated website. So join the family and let them help you secure your future. Contact them today online or by calling 856-692-2250. That's 856-692-2250. A big thank you to Allen Associates for being a proud partner of Guzman's Gridiron. It's Millville. It's here. It's crazy how quickly a season flies by. It's the cherry on top of the season and the big one to close it out. But, looking at this Millville team, a team that went on another deep playoff run, they lost their final matchup against Winslow last weekend, and now they have their sights set on you guys. You guys have had your sights set on them for a couple weeks now, laser focused in. What are some things that you guys have learned along the way getting ready for this matchup against Millville?
Well, one of the things that we have to do during this game is we've got to execute on all phases. There can't be a lag at all. Everything has to be now. And done with precision. You're going up against a team that, again, lost in the state final game, right, against Winslow. So they're no slouch by any means. But we're up for the task. We're up for that fight that's going to happen on Thanksgiving Day. And our kids are they're ready, man. They're poised. They're ready, and they're going to leave everything out in the field. And that's all I can ask for. That's all the coaching staff can ask for is you give me all 4 quarters. You leave it out in the field. If you can look in the mirror and really look into your eyes and see the truth for what it is, that's all we ask, man, that you leave it on the field. Whatever happens, but we're going to be proud of them for fighting all the way through, period.
No, I know you want to leave the past in the past, obviously, but how much in the back of your minds and everyone that was on the team last year does last year kind of stick in your head as a little bit of added motivation going into this year?
I'm not gonna sit here and talk too much about that. The person in that rival side knows what was said to him in the middle of the field. Period. He knows, I know, and that's all that needs to be known.
getting ready for this and knowing that it's at home, how much of an advantage do you feel like having that home crowd this year for you? It's your first time coaching as a head coach at home in this game. How exciting is that for you?
Again, being at Catone, that vibe, our fans. I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling, Kyle. It really is. You know, my coaching staff, myself, we've given a lot of ourselves to these kids. You know, a lot of time, a lot of coaching, and it all comes to this monumental point, right, in time where it's for all the marbles, man. It's for all the marbles, and it really shows on that day. Really, like, I can just look in all the coaches' eyes. I can look in all the kids' eyes. It's a very special event. You know, and people that are on the outside looking in really don't understand, but we sure as heck do. And I'm sure that, you know, on the other side of the aisle there, they understand as well. So, again, I can't wait until Thursday, because again, I know my kids are ready. They got that chip on their shoulder. They're just gonna leave it all on the field, and that's all we ask, man.
And, you know, going into this game, obviously some new pieces over at Millville. They have some players leave, transfer out, graduation, obviously. But, you know, one thing stays constant, and they got one more year out of future Alabama wide receiver Latsier Brooks, who's obviously, you know, he's going to be circled on any game preparation whenever you play Millville, no matter what team it is. What kind of preparation do you guys have, knowing that even earlier this year you've had moments where you've gone up against players that are D1 commits? Right. How much does that help you? And then going into this, what is a you know, coaching preparation like for somebody that you know is going to the next level already, and how to kind of prepare for that elevated level of talent?
Well, the way that we prepare would be, I mean, it's really no different than we would prepare for any other team. You know, everything's focused on that team, what they do well, what they don't do well, you know, where we can go ahead and take advantage of them. It's very similar. So it's nothing like, whoa, it's Millville, we got to – no. It's another team, another obstacle on our path, and we prepare just as we would any other team. You know, case in point, Atlantic City, right? Unbelievable receiver, commits to Rutgers, right? Again, our D-backs did their thing against him. You know, not just this year, the year before, where I don't even think he played this year. I think he was hurt.
He was playing mostly defense, and then he got injured, unfortunately, during the game.
So you know, he played a little bit, but regardless, you look back last year, you know, Saquon locked him up. You know, so again, man, we got players too, and like I said, I wouldn't go to war with anyone else other than my kids, man. I don't want this guy's from Alabama, he's from LSU, he's going to, God bless him. You know, again, that Brooks kid is an unbelievable talent. Everybody knows the deal with him. They have other guys there. It's not just him.
Right.
He's not the one-man show. That running back, Willis, he's a problem too. So, I mean, they have very skilled kids. But, again, on the flip side, we have our own skilled kids. And, again, I'm not going to war with anyone else other than my guys, period.
And, you know, we talked about this, I think, during the Atlantic City game, and we talked about last year's game at that point, too, with Saquon. And when you have a player of a Brooks's caliber, or, you know, some of these elevated talents that we get to face, and I think it's an awesome challenge that our team gets to face these athletes.
Absolutely.
How much do you see it in their eyes in practice? Like, they're chomping at the bit for this matchup. They want it.
Oh, yeah. Saquon wants all of it, period. Whatever he's got to give, and he's got a lot to give, the kid is good, really good. He's going to make him work for everything. Not just him, all our D-backs are going to make him work. There's nothing going to be given to any of these guys, just like they're not going to give us anything. Right? So there's no fear. There's only time and a place, and that time and place comes Thursday on Thanksgiving Day.
And I think one of the fun aspects of this year's game that we didn't have last year, we get to see Charles Clark play this year on Thanksgiving Day, which I think you look at the culmination of his season, his return against ACIT, and what this year has been for him. I can't wait to watch him on this stage with the way he's played this year and had the bounce back that he did from that injury, and has just been an unbelievable force out there at the running back position. I can't wait to watch the endorphins and just his excitement for what this challenge is going to be for him going up against that Millville defense.
Charles, again, special. I've said it many times. I'll keep saying it. He is a special back. From speed, power, pad level, his vision is incredible. Incredible. The kid is a baller. And he's biting at the bit, let me tell you, to go ahead and run that ball behind his offensive line. Again, come game day, we're going to see some explosive plays, not just from us. I'm sure we're going to see it from Millville as well. But like I said, our kids they're ready to make a statement, man. They're ready to make people's mouths shut, and they're just going to play football, man. They're going to play with their pads, and that's it.
And I think for Charles, too, I think he's a valuable asset in the preparation for this game. Like we mentioned before, like the freshmen, this is their first time, but after this, there's only 3. Charles, unfortunately, had one of those years taken away from him.
Yes, he did.
And I think that's something valuable for him to share with the locker room, being like, yeah, your opportunities in this matchup are short. Mine were shorter. Right. Don't take it for granted.
Right. He's a quiet leader. He just comes, does his thing on the field, and packs his bags at the end of practice and goes about his day. But he definitely has voiced his opinion to his O-line, to make sure that they go ahead, make sure that they watch, their keys, make sure that they come off the ball the way they're supposed to. And, he says, give me some daylight and I'll make room. The kid's just a special, good kid, man. Love that kid.
And I think talking about the O-line this year, it's such a new group and such a different group than what we've had in years past.
Yes.
The way that they have evolved all season long and seeing them just mesh together as a unit, game over game, week over week, has been super fun to watch. And I think a lot of times when you have an inexperienced, cohesive unit on that O-line, you see mistakes. It gets overemphasized. This year, those mistakes, you barely saw anything from them. There was barely any penalties on the RO line this year. There was not many noticeable things to the naked eye. I'm sure you guys are able to see things in film a lot different, on a hindsight type of situation. But with a new offensive line playing together for the first time, including a freshman on that O-line, this offensive line came together, and they came together quickly to be a dominant unit for you guys and be such a positive impact for the way that you guys were able to play on offense this year.
Absolutely. I mean, I give a lot of kudos to that O-line. We have a lot of guys that never played football. Kyle, they never played football. Like I told you, like Adonai Navas, he's never played football. This is his first year ever playing. Aiden Zinkra, he's a freshman.
True freshman.
Like, these guys are young, but what they lack, in that youth, they make up for in what they retain, right? They retain so much information, and then they put it to fruition come game day. It's unbelievable to have a group of their magnitude, right, where you have guys that have never played the sport, or you have first-year players meshing with, juniors and seniors. It's special, man. It really is. It's a special group of O-linemen, and best believe that they got a chip on their shoulder too, and they're going to come out and give everything they got. But they're definitely a special group, man, up front.
And I think this year in particular, you saw a lot of success for you guys throughout the year because you won the battle in the trenches, both on the offensive line and the defensive line.
Right.
And this year's D-line was unreal, and I'm excited to watch them on this stage because they're gritty. They do the dirty work that not every player on a given team is willing to do, and they do it willingly. They go in there, they create havoc, they open up lanes for a Noah Cruz, for an Omar Davis at that linebacker position, for Mutcherson to come in at a new position for him midway through the season and have success because you have that D-line setting the tone and letting the opponent know, like, hey, your O-line's not going to get away with that.
Right. A lot of people just, they underestimate our guys up front, right? They're smaller, undersized. They see them as that, right? And we see them as just football players. They're going out there giving everything they got. I mean, Donnie St. Jean this year, all-star. all-star. You're talking about a kid who's undersized at the position, but has so much heart and so much will to win. The kid is an all-star,
and
man.
he outsmarts every opponent.
Yes. Strong as an ox, smart, and ergo, his all-star status. Like you're playing a dude.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing against a dude. So, again, from him, Muchie, Mason. I mean, Saquon. Names go on and on. Even guys that have been adding to the flavor, if you will. Barias.
Mm-hmm.
young kid. He's a hitter. Has a nose for the ball. It's very nice to see that we can almost plug and play, right?
Mm-hmm.
People have dropped off. Okay, next man up. And these kids take that opportunity and they run with it, Kyle. So, yeah, I mean, we're very, very fortunate to have the type of kid that we have, because they don't take no for an answer, man. They're willing to do what's got to be done to get that W.
Obviously with the extended practice time and everything and getting ready for this game, who are some players that have kind of, stood out during a time where it is a lot of practice with no game to kind of cap off a week of practice, and it kind of does roll, and it gets to a point where it's like you're ready, but the game's not there yet. But who are some people that have really stood out to you on this team, through these couple weeks of practice that have really stepped up, whether it be from a leadership position in practice and elevating their game, and what you're excited to see on the field Thursday morning from them?
You got your, lack of a better word, your typical rigor of guys, right? Your Noah Cruz's, your Masons, right? Afanadors, Donnie St. Jean, Adonai Navas on that O-line.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, again, never played football, and to be where he's at right now, I'm so proud of him. You got Brandon Bedoya, never played football on that D-line. He's adding to the mix. Zach Zavis. The kids that we got, again, I will not trade for the world. We have a great group of kids. They stay the course. They do what's asked of them. And I can't ask for anything else, Kyle. I really can't. The staff can't either, man. We're just we're waiting and willing to play this game on Thursday, man.
And, before we put a wrap on it, it's Thanksgiving game, Coach. And
yes.
Instead of a typical alumni segment thing, what's on number one? What's on the plate? What's the dream plate for Coach Guz? And what are some things you're thankful for this season and just this year in general?
Well, let's go through the plate, right? Let's go through Coach Guzman's typical plate. I'm going to tell you right now, it's, me being Puerto Rican, I'm very proud of my heritage, right? We'll have turkey, right? Stuffing, the whole 9 yards, cranberry sauce, right? Then we have what Puerto Ricans call pernil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pork shoulder, right? Then we have, of course, your mashed potatoes, your mac and cheese, your greens. Oh yes, I have a lot of different nationalities that have mixed with my family. So, we get these beautiful rolls that are made by a particular somebody in the family, sushi rolls. So we get that also. We get the rice with gandules and ham, salad out of this world. What else? Pateles, which is unreal. Alcapurrias. See, I'm going into the people that know out there.
I'm
know
speaking
what I'm
your
about.
language right now. I
know. We also get pinchos going, shish kebabs. We also get arroz dulce, which is like a sweet rice, like kind of thing that is very good also. What else is on that plate, man? There's a lot. Briskets on that plate. It's out of control. I'm not even joking. My sister makes these cornbread things that are just fun. Listen to me. I take about 10 of those things, and I build myself a little like a little, I don't know, a little mini skyscraper on one plate by itself.
Mm-hmm.
She has, you just don't understand, man. She has this thing layered. So it's cornbread, mac and cheese, cornbread, double thick bacon at the bottom. Then she has shredded bacon, so you can, that's the nice little adornment on the top.
So you got Thanksgiving lasagna pretty much is what we're talking about.
It's a problem. Those things alone are a meal. That's a meal by itself, fully loaded, lock, stock, and a barrel. Then you got ham. I mean, the choices. It's like a big mess hall.
You haven't even talked about dessert yet either. That's the wildest part.
I haven't even gone into dessert because that's another table out there. Like it's phenomenal. The way you see this table, you're like, am I gonna start on that end? Am I gonna start in the middle? Am I gonna start on this end? Where are we going with this? It's that unbelievable, the amount of food. Dessert wise, I'm going with, we get flan, right? Puerto Rican flan, right? We get them vanilla, coconut, cheesecake flan. It's out of control, dude. Cheesecake's on the menu as well. Strawberry cheesecake. You can't ride out.
Can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong without the strawberry cheesecake. Of course, ice cream, all types of ice cream. Ben & Jerry's has to be my fave. The fudge brownie. Anyway,
dynamic.
Yeah, it's a problem.
That's what we call range, Coach. We call range.
We got cannolis in the building.
There we go.
Of all types, because again, I'm I was raised in Hamilton, so my Hamilton
cannoli capital of New Jersey, baby.
That Italian side is there. Not to mention, I didn't even mention this, deer venison stew gets on the yeah. It's a problem, man. Sausage and peppers is on the menu as well. Well, she used to, God rest her soul, but Grandma used to make this unbelievable spaghetti and meatballs. The meatballs were like this, man. Unreal. And she uses real gravy. There's a difference between sauce and gravy, right? A lot of people don't understand there has to be bones in the gravy for it to be gravy. If it's not, then it's sauce. You see? So, but anyway, and I'm not even going to go into the drink part because it's
serious.
Yes, it's serious, and we're going to keep this PG. Just know that there's a lot of
Shirley Temples.
Yeah, there's a lot of Shirley Temples, and there's just a lot of different types of looking good PG drinks. It's just unreal.
It's the full color spectrum.
Yeah, it's like one looks like a pineapple. The other chocolate is involved in this one. You're like, where? So there's
it's
a
Willy
lot.
Wonka.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm telling you, if you were to come over to the house, you would probably fall asleep with the itis within an hour.
Which will be perfect because then I won't have to watch that Giants-Cowboys game.
You'll be tuned out to the world. Because what I do is I go ahead and eat my 2 plates. And, yes, I go too deep. I'm not going to sit here and lie on TV at all. I go too deep, and then I go to sleep. Right in my mom's rocker. I pop that thing back. No one bothers me. I wake up about an hour later. TV on football. Back for 2 more plates.
Yep, here we go.
Yes, round 2. So it's out of control the way that they do everything in my house, and it leaves you wanting more. I can't tell you enough of the types of food, that the ethnic diversity in my house. It's phenomenal. Oh, I forgot the ribs, man. The fall off the bone ribs.
All right, so I just got to find where you're parked on Thursday, and after the game, I'll follow you.
It's a problem on all levels. It's just, and then you're not even knowing the sandwiches with the real Italian bread. The real Italian bread. All right. Again, I go back to Hamilton to get my bread. Yes. Real Italian bread. The sandwiches are out of control. You're just, all right, I'm going to throw a piece of brisket on there, some ham on there.
And what you're saying is you got leftovers to lead you into Christmas.
You just got, it's a smorgasbord of just delight. You're happy. The minute you walk in the room, it's like the light goes off. Yes, I'm eating with people I love, with, people I've been around since I was a little guy, and it's just a special event, man.
Now, when you see the red Corvette rolling around and Guy Fieri gets out at your house ready to rock and roll for Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives Thanksgiving edition, we're ready to go.
Listen, if Guy comes over, he's going to fall asleep right now. I could care less who comes. He's going to be like, yeah, well, we're going to take a break. That break's going to last an hour, and then he'll be back. He'll be back. He'll be back, but he's going to get the itis.
Absolutely incredible. What are some things you're thankful for this year, whether it's the season, just this year in general? Obviously, 2024 almost on its way out, which is crazy to think about as well, but what are some things you're thankful for this year?
First and foremost, I'm thankful for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ be in our hearts, right, and bless our foods. Very thankful for my family, man. I'm all about family, and the way that I say family is, of course, my family, blood, right? But there's, I have a small circle of people that I consider my family, and I'm thankful for them, man. I'm thankful for them every single day that I'm on this planet, I'm also thankful for the fact that our kids are safe and they're going to be playing a game in a safe environment, and they're going to go home with their families, both sides, Vineland and Millville, and have themselves a wonderful family dinner with their families. Calmness, peace, tranquility within the home. So that's what I'm thankful for.
It's a great way to go into the holiday season. One last thing here, too, before we put our final thoughts on the game. I want to get your perspective on this because I know we had a little bit of a fingerprint on this program. I don't know if you saw, Coach John Gruden got hired by Barstool Sports.
Can you believe it's
unreal?
That guy's
he's everywhere.
Just everywhere. Pretty cool that when I was under Coach Russo's watch, we actually got to meet him over at I forget the name of the restaurant that we went. But that was when Pop was here.
Because you guys was Cherry Hill.
It was like 4 or 5 different schools that got invited, and he had his tour bus there, and it was just neat to finally shake the hand of a guy that, listen, I consider to be an unbelievable mind in the game of football, and he is. Anybody that knows him, did he have his hiccup at one point? A few years ago. So the man made a mistake, right? He fessed up to it. He owned up to it, and I'm hoping that everybody understands that he owned up to his mistake. Doesn't take anything away from that mind of football that he has. He is an unbelievable mind in football. I wish nothing but the best, for John Gruden being on Barstool Sports now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He is, and on top of it, he's a character, man.
He's so funny.
He's animated. He's a character, man.
He's so funny. And
even in you think he'd switch up.
Right.
The way he is on TV versus the way no. John Gruden's John Gruden. On the camera, off the camera, that's him. And I respected that. I remember telling him, I respect you a lot and what you do and how, your know-how of the game. And he said something back, and then he said something that made me laugh. Like, that's him. And I really respect him for that.
And he's always been a big Isaiah Pacheco supporter since that day.
Dude.
He still talks about him now in his breakdowns. And it's like he was almost like the first national pundit to really hone in on Isaiah's talents.
Yeah, 100%. And, the way that – it's just the way that everything moves, right? Energy. The way it moves is unbelievable. Pop meets him there. He has nothing but raving reviews, if you will, right, of Pop. And then center stage Pop, NFL, he sees him again, and it's like he knew it. He's like, I called it. I knew. Again, these kids, these special kids, you just can see, you can almost sense it before it happens, man. And he was, as you said, he was one of the first pundits to go ahead and give him his stripes, man. This is the real deal.
And speaking of stripes, I want to give a big shout out to Tyreen Powell.
100%.
His last home game for Rutgers.
100%.
We've said it for years. He's going to be the next one wearing NFL on his chest.
100%.
Hopefully it's local. I would love Tyreen with some Eagles green. I'll tell you that much.
Tyreen, 49 at the corner, man. You hear me? Listen, we need help. You could help us, bud. All right? Just putting it out there. Kansas City's loaded. Don't look at Pop. Don't look at Pop. Don't call Pop.
Let him have his fun. You guys can meet up at the ESPYs.
Yes. 49ers have your name, man. Okay? Go over to the West Coast, man.
Super excited for him, though. Like, this next
I love him
process for him is going to be so much fun to follow along with.
100%. You know, that, him and his brothers, all of them, they're just a great group of kids, man. The whole family. That group of brothers there, tight-knit group. And we were fortunate enough to have them all play here. You know, it's just, it was neat. It was very, very neat to see. All of them are different. They're all different, man. Okay? But ultimately, they all showcased their talents here in Vineland, which was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
100%. Coach, final thoughts going into the 153rd meeting against Vineland and Millville at Gatone Stadium, 10:30 a.m. kickoff on Thursday morning. If you can't make it out, but I highly encourage getting out to Gatone Stadium. Get your tickets. They're online only. But you can also catch the game on Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel, myself and Rich Scarpa on the call. But, Coach, your final thoughts going into your first home matchup in this rivalry?
My final thoughts are very simple, man. We're going in with a purpose, and that purpose is to come out with a W. So fans come out in droves to watch your kids, your team, your hometown team come out in droves and watch them play, the beautiful game of football. At the end of the day, the game's got to get played, and may the best team win that day. And enjoy, all of you, Vineland natives, Millville natives. Enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner with your families. God bless you all.
We'll see you Thursday morning from Gatone Stadium. Coach, best of luck.
My brother.
Let's go get this dub. And as always, go Vineland.